جهاد ناس قوة عزيمة وليعد الدين مجده.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to Syrian Analysis. I'm your host, Kirk Almasian. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's special live streaming with a friend from Syria. His name will be anonymous. We will keep his identity secret for his own safety and security in Syria. However, he is reporting from Syria about everything that is ongoing still, from the security events to the social upheavals. And today we will have an interesting conversation with him to hear his thoughts about the current conditions in Syria. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming to the show. You watched probably this video of the parade of the new transitional government celebrating 1 year of the removal of Assad, or what they call the liberation of Syria. 1 year after the regime change, I'm sure many people, especially those who live in Syria, have probably built some understanding of or impressions about what has happened and what could happen in the future. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts when you see this parade and celebration by some people and some Syrians, let's say, in the country. And do you think that Syria has liberated itself under such conditions? Just for you to know, guys, because he is in Syria, so the internet is not really stable. But when the internet comes in its normal pace, he will definitely answer. So I truly appreciate your patience once, as we're speaking with our friend in Syria. Did you hear my question, my friend? Okay. So this is happening regularly. We've been trying, but he will come back now in a moment, and he will definitely try to answer our question. As you may know, guys, despite the 1 year of quote unquote liberation in Syria and the promises of having a strong internet, welcome back, my friend.
Hello, I'm terribly sorry that the
No
internet
worries.
is
No worries.
switching
I
on
was
off
explaining this for
all the
them.
time.
Yeah, no worries. I don't know if you heard my question.
And
I want your thoughts and impressions on this day, which is the first anniversary of the regime change operation in Syria.
yeah, okay. The new this day for us marks as you mentioned, the 1 year since the regime change. However, this the most common sentiment amongst people is negativity, honestly. Even though most of the I'm sorry for saying this, Muslims are feigning optimism. There's a deep knowledge of things are not going in the right direction. Minorities are scared. People are being thrown out of jobs. People are losing their homes. Everything is going downhill for Syria. There is no sentiment of national pride. We've lost everything that connects us as people. As a people, I mean, I used to, 1 year earlier, I used to feel I am a Syrian. Now I don't. I'm pretty sure lots of people share this sentiment with me. I think it's pretty hard for us to now believe in a unified country like we used to. I come from a pretty nationalist background. My family is half Ba'athist, half nationalist. Uh, so I believe in Syria or broader Arab League. However, now I have nothing of this left. It's hard for me, for others, to feel like this.
In this identity crisis, my friend, do you feel lost? Like I feel lost. Like, what does it mean to be Syrian? Like I'm Syrian, but what does it mean nowadays when the entire image and identity of the country has changed? At the least to say, I'm not going to say lost forever, but it has changed, and it is difficult now to bring time back, right? We will have him back, my friends. As you know, as I mentioned, the internet is very lagging in Syria. I think this is the the biggest proof that he is in Syria, that his internet is all of a sudden breaking. But um, he will come back in a minute or two, and I'm sure you're excited about his answers, because what people really think and say nowadays, if you say it publicly, without uncovering or hiding your name, your identity, you could get killed. So we will protect this identity today. Habibi, don't worry. I know the internet is lagging on your
Hello?
side. Yeah, Habibi. Don't worry at all about
I'm
your internet.
using 4G.
Yeah, don't worry about your internet. If it cuts, you go back and come back. We will wait for you, and our audience are patiently will wait for you. And we would like to. I was asking you about the identity crisis. Like I'm Syrian. I was not a Ba'athist. I was not a Syrian nationalist, but I always felt Syrian. Nowadays, I feel lost. Although I live in Germany, I don't even live in Syria. I think the situation would be so much harder for you to absorb. Do you hear me, my friend? I will show you guys a video from today until our friend comes back. This is from the general strike that Sheikh Ghazal has called on the people to close their shops and do a general strike in protest of the sectarian killings against the Alawites. So, as you can see, there was a big turn. Eh, Habibi Kifak, do you hear me? I think you're back now. We can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, Habibi, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, Habibi, we can hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, but it's laggy. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry for this.
No
I know
worries.
this is not
No
what we
worries.
hoped for, but it's the Syrian internet, unfortunately.
I told them this is the biggest proof that you're in Syria, that the internet is lagging all the time. I was going to ask you about the general strike and how successful do you
Of
think that
course,
was?
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We've seen videos of the general strike in Syria, and many neighborhoods and towns have closed their shops. They listened to Sheikh Ghazal that they have to close their shops despite the dire economic situation. How do you see this, the timing of this strike?
The general strike has been a success, in my opinion. It's in my village, in every part of the coast, and some on other parts in Hama and Homs. It has been successful, and people abided by the general strike.
I am deeply sorry, guys, for this. It is not in my hands. We were promised that once Assad is gone, Syria will be in the first top countries of development and technology and internet and AI and so on. And for those who are asking, Habibi is like dear, let's say. We call it to a man and to a woman. It depends on the context. You can call your girlfriend a Habibi or Habibti, my dear or my love. Or you can call your friend Habibi. It's like my friend, or Azizi, like dear. So there is back. Yeah, Habibna, do you hear me?
Once again, sorry.
No worries. You can continue. While you leave, I just do some elaboration on whatever you're saying. Please continue on the strike. Today, yeah, you're still here. You can speak. Do you hear me, my friend? So under such circumstances, guys, especially when it comes to the infrastructure of Syria, unfortunately, we have a situation now where the government is capable, or the new regime is able to provide some of the services in with the help of regional countries, but with very expensive prices. For example, the electricity that many people nowadays celebrate, that they have long hour of fuel and electricity in their homes. This comes with 800% increase in the bills. This was one of the arguments that we always said. It is very important for the country to preserve its national economy and sovereignty over its resources and what services they could provide in order for the country to stay cheap. Now, the infrastructure, almost 50% has been destroyed. The hydrocarbons have gone. Habibna, do you hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah, well, I
I'm
was asking
terribly
about the
sorry
strike.
again.
No worries, Habibi.
Mm. The strike has been a success. I was genuinely surprised by the sheer masses that abided by it. I mean, it's quite impressive to see towns, cities, villages abiding by the General strike, and my village, my entire village, though far from the city centers or governorate centers, abided by the general strike. They all committed to it. They all stopped working and um, stayed at home, as Sheikh Ghazal asked them to.
Yeah, and this general strike comes at a very important time, in my opinion. As you see, there are reports, for example, an alleged investigation by Reuters, which looks like it's a intel operation. They have claimed that,
I'm not getting in.
yeah. Do you want to say something? Guys, just for you to know,
I
this
can't
is an
hear you.
yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying this strike came at an important time. Reuters made an investigation claiming that Assad's exiled spy chief and billionaire cousin plot Syrian uprising from Russia. They say from exile in Moscow, ex-Intel chief Kamal Hassan and Assad's cousin Rami Makhlouf are spending millions of dollars in competing efforts to build fighting forces that would lead to a revolt along Syria's coast. How realistic do you see this so-called investigation from the Reuters that the ex-regime, let's say people who were associated with the former regime, are plotting some sort of an armed revolution in Syria?
I I think it's all just propaganda devil, honestly. I mean, Rami Makhlouf, despite being, despite enjoying some popularity, has ruined it all by going against Sheikh Azal's uh, statements. He had enjoyed popularity due to his charity work. He was a philanthropist. He was known to pay for operations.
He will come back, my friends. Don't worry. Hello, Johan. Hello, our moderator. We are having a friend from Syria. We're keeping his identity anonymous and secret to for his own security. Unfortunately, the internet in Syria is unstable, but we're having some answers from him from time to time. I'm not going to ask him questions and record his answers. We're going to make this spontaneous as much as we can. And I so really appreciate your patience, guys. Unfortunately, that's the situation in Syria, that the internet is still unstable despite 1 year of alleged liberation. And for those who support Jolani and come to this show, you're welcome, Habibi. You can come and listen to people. If you think we're crying, I think you're just projecting your own tears on us. We are. On this show, we speak, analyze, debate, and we think critically. We speak about international politics. Maybe that's too big for your brain. So maybe that this channel is not for you. Eh, Habibi?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying it was propaganda drivel. It was paid for by, I believe, Islamists, Qatar was or someone. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Did
I
you
do
hear
hear
what I
you.
said?
Yeah, we heard you, my friend.
Hello.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
So I'm still lagging, unfortunately.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say what I have to say. Uh, at least I would try to answer something. So I was saying it. I think it's a propaganda paid for by Qatar and Islamist supporters. Yeah. So basically, both of Kamal Hassan and Rami Makhlouf don't have any substance or supporters on the ground. I mean, most of them are.
So the Reuters article, my friends, if you read it carefully, you will notice that this is definitely an orchestrated, alleged investigation paid by Qatar or Saudi Arabia. And one of the journalists, Taimur, one of the authors of this so-called investigation, I believe he lives in Saudi Arabia. And what they're trying to do is, after the increased pressure from the Syrian Alawite community against the Jolani regime, for example, organizing strikes and the international pressure against them and calling for federalism and peaceful demonstrations against the Jolani regime, which were all successful, these powers who back the Jolani regime, they have noticed that the issue of the coast, which is West Syria, is going to get out of hand, just like it went out of hand in al-Suwaida. Suwaida is in southern Syria, mostly populated by the Druze, and nowadays they have like a de facto autonomy. And the same goes for the Kurds. So Syria will be completely dismembered under such circumstances, and the Jolani regime will have its control over only few regions, basically in the country. So what they're doing, what they are doing basically in this case is it's like a preemptive strike against the Syrian Alawites by trying to pretend and say that these people are receiving funds from who? The cousin of Bashar al-Assad, Rami Makhlouf, and also his former chief of intelligence. So what I'm going to do now, because we're having this situation, I will call him on WhatsApp probably. Can we do it on WhatsApp? And I will ask him the questions, and I think he's back. Let me check. My friend, I think we can call you probably on WhatsApp if it's more stable on WhatsApp. So I can ask you the question, and while you're answering, I can put my smartphone in front of my microphone.
Do you have Discord?
Discord? I don't have Discord, but I can install Discord now. Unfortunately, this Discord. Okay, let me check. So I just installed Discord now.
Okay.
Just send me your number. Is it by number or by username?
Just drop me your code.
Yeah.
My username and code. There's a hashtag with 4 numbers, I believe.
Yes, I'm just going to send you now. I just made a profile. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Confirmation code. Okay. Yes, I have made an account now. Okay, I will send you my username, okay? I sincerely sorry guys for this, but we have to make it work the way as much as we can. It is important to listen to Syrians inside Syria and navigate through all the propaganda and the attempt to portray everything that is happening in the country as if it's a victory and liberation of the people. So, friends, skip. So I'm going at people to find me. I will send him my Discord now. Allow people to find me. Skip. Okay. So I sent him my Discord. Let's see. What is this? I never used this QR code. Okay, we had him. Yeah, حبيبي كيفك?
Hello.
So this report that you said it's definitely paid by Qatar or Saudi Arabia. One of the authors, this Taimur, looks like he lives in Saudi Arabia. And for me, it looks like this was a preemptive move from the people who are behind the Jolani regime to try to portray the political movement of the Alawites in Syria as if it is paid by the former regime and it's people who are associated with them.
Absolutely, it's the whole thing is trying to discredit the general the peaceful political movement of the Alawites. I mean, Sheikh Fazal has called on people to demonstrate peacefully, to boycott, I'm sorry, not boycott, to strike. All these movements are are legal in the political sense and peaceful. That's more important. However, they're trying to portray the general movement as a more as having more insidious levels behind it. I mean, they're trying to say they're trying to move money. They're trying to move weapons. They are trying to store weapons somewhere. They're organizing. They are connecting with the foreign powers, etc., etc. It's all just trying. The whole thing was built upon on a lie. That is, Kamal Hassan, Rami Makhlouf are trying to do something. Rami Makhlouf once said not to trust anything coming from social media unless it was himself in a video call or a video statement or something. Kamal Hassan. So in that sense, I would question any statement that comes out, even by his name, unless it was him in video call, a video statement saying what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Kamal Hassan is generally viewed as a traitor by the Alawites. I mean, I met someone who literally said he and Hussam Luqa toured the southern provinces, Daraa, Qnaytara, Suwaida, and all the divisions there to surrender just days before the fall of Damascus. I mean, I believe Thursday night, Friday morning, that was when they ordered the divisions to surrender.
Yes.
They ordered the entire divisions. I mean, on those are frontline divisions. They're designed and they're trained to hold Israel for 48 hours, so they can organize the defense of Damascus. So these are the cream of the cream, the army. This is some of the most better trained divisions in the army, and they all collapsed because Kamal Hassan, Hussam Luqa ordered them to. So Kamal Hassan is just trying to buy himself into population back into popularity, because we all believe he's a traitor. So he has zero credibility in our eyes. So I believe it's those who wrote this op-ed are just trying to are just using their names as a as a hoax to convince others there's something brewing that it's not.
Yes.
In reality.
And even if, let's suppose, for an argument's sake, they're preparing something or cooking something from Moscow, what are the odds that Moscow itself would allow these people to plot against the new regime in Syria, knowing that Russia itself has cut a deal, it seems, with Turkey and with Israel as well to keep its presence in the country, and they have also allowed the collapse of the former Syria, right? So they're not in a position also to allow, or they don't want to allow any effort to remove the current regime in Syria at the current moment.
Yes, we all know how Putin works. I mean, he doesn't. He always wants to be in control. So people plotting such a operation on this scale cannot go unnoticed by him or his men.
Yeah.
And all of these people, especially Rami Makhlouf, Maher al-Assad, Bashar al-Assad, and all these people are being watched 24/7, I believe, by his own police, by his own intelligence, etc. Nothing can escape their eyes. So I believe if there's something really happening, Russia has to know, and we all know they made a deal. So they will stop it
Yes.
dead in its tracks. Then it won't. Well, it won't be. It won't become any reality. It won't have any reality on the ground.
Yes.
They won't allow the money. I mean, they would keep the money themselves, and they won't allow it to be moved into Syria.
Yes. During such times, an interesting thing is happening in the country, and that is, in my opinion, we are moving into a certain type of monarchy, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jolani was he was in the Umayyad mosque, and he literally said in Arabic, I would like you to explain this to our friends. He said, أيها السوريون أطيعوني ما أطعت الله فيكم فوالله لن يقف في وجهنا أي أحد مهما كبر أو عظم. It looks this religious talk, you know. He's appointing himself as a wali over or a king over Syria, and he has his authority
He's the
from
new
God.
caliphate.
Yeah.
He's the new caliph, and he's establishing the caliphate. Basically, what he said: "Obey me
Yes.
as I rule through God." That's how I interpret it. Everyone interpret it in here like this. I mean, it's encoded in some Salafist literature that one must not rebel against a leader or a ruler as long as he's a Muslim, abiding by the Quran and Sunnah and all that stuff.
And Bashar was not following the Sunnah and the religion. Right.
In their eyes, he's an Alawite. He can't. He's an infidel. He can't rule by God and Sunnah and Quran because he's an infidel, and all he's doing is painting Islam in. So that's how they got all these masses to believe that Bashar is an infidel and he must be removed because a Muslim cannot be ruled by a non-Muslim. It's also in the Salafist literature. They don't allow Muslims to be ruled by non-Muslims, and they must therefore rebel against Bashar and other. And this could actually be an opening for other places. I mean, we have now a sizable population of Muslims in places like Germany, France, Britain. I mean, I was watching a video the other day of people calling for Sharia law in Britain.
In Hamburg last week.
Absurdity. People are not are going quite mad with this, and Jolani's rise to power fueled that insanity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They believe now they have the divine wind.
Yes. Yesterday in Berlin, around 10,000 Syrians gathered in a square called Alexanderplatz. And next to this square, there is a Christmas market, a very big one. And I don't want to use the term invaded, but when the demo was over, they broke into the Christmas market with they're just shouting Allahu Akbar and Yul'an Rawhak Ya Hafiz, which means they're cursing the soul of Hafiz al-Assad. They really terrified the German people. And today I was watching the reactions on these videos. It is. I think the cup of the Germans is full now with this type of Syrians.
They couldn't bring 10,000 people to Umayyan Square.
Yeah.
However, they can do it in Germany. It's insane.
Yeah.
This is the reality we're living in. There's a contrast between people living inside Syria and people living outside Syria. Even though Syria is now filled with people that are enjoying this insanity, however, people not living under the Jolani are enjoying the current state of affairs.
Yeah.
They believe they are vindicated in their position, and they believe they as I said, they have the divine wind, and they must push their advantage right now, or otherwise they will face divine wrath.
Yes. And what about the calls of Germans and also sane Syrians, basically in Europe, saying, why don't these people go back since they fled from Assad?
And it's they should be deported. I mean, people. The core security of nations is by having is by having people with the same interests and views. They literally have thousands of people who don't share the same values with them, and they pledge allegiance to others like Erdogan or Jolani. This is a security threat, in my opinion. This is a breach in a huge breach in the security of European countries. They must be dealt with.
But my friend, this was a few years ago in 2016, and this got me into trouble in Germany when I first came to the country, and I noticed, wow, in these refugee camps you have like so many people support al-Nusra, support Ahrar Sham, support Islam's army openly in Arabic, and nobody understands them. And they speak about the deaths among the Syrian army as like they have killed animals, you know, the way they portray. And I was struck by what I heard. So the naive in me thought that I should speak up against this type of Syrians in order to keep our reputation clean. But the German state media came after me and they called me I'm a fascist for saying that we have to be careful that we have radicals among some of the Syrians.
I know the problem with the West. They use they are most of them are paid for, or are just naive. Honestly, I'm not going to say they're paid to follow a certain narrative. However, most of them are naive. They have general words they believe in: freedom, democracy, etc. They must they must follow these words. Otherwise, they will be labeled as they labeled you a fascist, an Assadist, and a sympathizer with the dictator, and all these labels they tend to put on people for speaking up for themselves or defending their values.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a new thing in Europe. However, I believe Europe is moving quite slowly towards recognizing this kind of danger.
Yes.
They're still far back in they're still far back in what they need to do, but they're getting there. At least the general population is getting there. I mean, as you mentioned, the people are fed up with these provocative scenes, celebrations, invading the Christmas markets, running over people with cars. It's insanity.
Yeah. But during such times, I just want to show this video to our friends, and I will, of course, tell you what Tom Barak said. I'm sure you already heard, but I just want to show this video first to the those who are watching to know what I'm talking about.
First thing that has to happen is we have to allow them, Syria, to define it themselves without going in with Western expectations of saying we want a democracy in 12 months. We've never had a democracy anyway. I don't see a democracy. Israel can claim that it's a democracy, but in this region, really what's worked the best, whether you like it or you don't like it, is a benevolent monarchy.
So basically, Tom Barak says that Israel can claim it is a democracy, but in this region, what is work or what has worked the best, whether you like it or not, is a benevolent monarchy. So it looks like they are really preparing the people to accept some sort of monarchy also in Syria. This is not a conspiracy theory.
Basically, in most countries, especially in the Middle East, people follow politics follows the mob.
Yeah.
The mob follows some kind of a leader. For example, now Jordani, and I believe Barak's statements are paid for. I know Erdogan is now the the monarch of Turkey. He's trying to establish another monarch in Syria to be his own puppet. So he's Barak by pushing these statements on Syrians, they're really preparing us for such scenario.
Yes.
I mean, he came today to the Umayyad mosque dressed in army fatigues, the Zelensky uniform, ordered people to obey him.
Yes.
So this is quite a shift in the narrative and the image is trying to push on people. He at the beginning he said, "Oh, I'm coming as a servant to the people. I would love it if people spare me the trouble of leading them."
Yes.
Now he's telling Syrians to obey him as God commands.
Yes.
So he's literally trying to establish a caliphate where he becomes a caliph, and he has infiltrated the state apparatus with his own people.
Yes.
There's not a sheikh that's governing everything. I mean, I would if you want to for example get a police to go to the police to report a stolen car or anything, they tell you go to the sheikh.
Yes.
The sheikh will handle the things. He will tell you what to do. So these people he brought them with him from Idlib, set them in every government office and every government company, state company, and all these places. He has total control on the government apparatus.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe he now believes he consolidated power with the blessing of the U.S. and Turkey, and he's now ready to go to make the next move,
Yes.
announce himself as the monarch or the supreme leader.
Yes. Just wanted to say to the audience, please, guys, only type in Latin letters and speak English. If you are coming here to speak in Urdu or in Persian or in other language, please don't do that. I will just remove the entire account from being. I just said many times, only in English. You're just disturbing the viewers. Those are hundreds of them trying to come and listen to this conversation. So only in English, please, okay? If you can't abide by that, I have to ask the moderators to block these accounts, okay? My friend, this is the last topic I wanted to speak with you this week. The Saudi Al Arabiya channel said they have access now to leaked videos show Bashar al-Assad saying to hell with Ghouta. So just to give a context to the people, guys, there are multiple footages that are cut and edited and published this week by Al Arabiya. They don't show the entire videos. In any ways, this was, I think, in 2018 when Bashar al-Assad and his special advisor back then, Luna Shibel, and there was a third person in the back of the car, the back seat. They went to Ghouta during the peak of the military operations. And this was more like a PR move from Assad that he emerged victorious. But apparently what they showed to the people back then, those were the stuff that the Syrian presidential palace has chosen to show to the people. And now we have other footages, more spontaneous ones, when Luna Shibel is asking some random questions to Bashar about him seeing his photos or pictures hanged everywhere in the country, his opinion about Hezbollah, Putin's basically cosmetic operations or something. And he also asked his opinion about what does he think about Ghouta, and he said to hell with al-Ghouta. I watched all these videos, and I would like to hear your thoughts about what do you think were the main scandals in this video, and is there anything that could incriminate or expose about Assad that we didn't know? You know, like these videos would say, "Oh, this is the opposite of the image that I had about Assad."
people outside Syria have a quite idealistic image of Assad. Those who supported him, of course, and the others see him as a demon. It's not the truth. The truth is not black or white in Syria. It's probably gray. In my opinion, the videos of the leaks were nothing more than gossip. I mean, it's quite mundane things he said, except for the Ghouta part of the Ghouta. I mean, that was quite the only scandal, I would say. I mean, he's the president. He should not say this kind of these words against his own people. However, I would understand it because Ghouta really pushed things into danger zone for Bashar. They threatened the main supply line to Damascus via the northern route. They came close many times to actually moving into the Abbasin Square. They also committed many atrocities. I mean, there are thousands of people who were murdered by terrorists. Like my own I have a relative who was lost in Hadra Mali, and her entire family.
Yes.
She was the mother. She had daughters and sons. They were all lost. We still have no information what happened to them. Where had they gone? Where are their graves if they died? So I would say that it was understandable to say that. However, my most the thing that hurt me most about in these videos was him mocking the soldiers, mocking people who fought for him. I mean, he accepted having his own hand kissed by a soldier. That should not have happened. Yeah,
But
I
he
know
also
the
said
soldier
in one of the
overstimulated,
videos,
but
one of the generals, commanders tried to kiss his hand, and he bowed, or he bowed his head down, and Assad responded to him, and he said, "Askari ma lazam yuwatti rasahu," which means a soldier should not bow his head down, like always stay proud. You know, there were different things
yeah.
happening in one video.
Yeah, I believe he thought this would make the cut. That scene would make the cut in the presidency account, would show this video. So he made that stunt. He said that, so it would make the cut and be published. The more genuine thing was when the soldier came to his car and kissed his hand and all that stuff. I mean, him and Luna mocking the accents of the soldiers, mocking the soldiers, laughing at them at the checkpoint. That hurt me the most.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends, I have family whom I lost fighting for the Syrian state, not for Bashar al-Assad, of course. We all fought for what we believed Syria was, a secular country that where we Alawites and other minorities are treated the same and as anyone else. I mean, we come from quite a oppressed background. The Alawites and just like the Christians, Druze, and others faced oppression for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I mean, with the falling of the Hamadani, the Hamadani dynasty, the Alawites lost in their last emirate, basically, and they fell into this long string of oppression and genocide. The Ottomans, the Seljuks, the Ayyubids, the Mamluks, and all these dynasties tried to exterminate us in one way or another, by genocide, by famine, or other stuff. Even the nascent Syrian Republic, in its early days, refused to remove Ottoman laws that discriminated against the Alawites, like the Sufra law. I was literally incensed when I saw this in an archived article about people about MP parliament members from Jabli, asking the government, asking the parliament to remove this law, this Sahra law,
Yeah.
that basically says that any Muslim can take an Alawite, a free Alawite, of course, and make him his slave for the day without any pay or even a drop of water.
Yes.
And this was not removed until the 40s and late or early 50s.
So
Also, we were also frequently raided by by Muslim villages and others, and it was an uphill battle for anyone and trying to come down from the villages and trying to have an education, moving up the ladder in government positions and all that stuff. So we fought for Syria for what it was, a secular country that treated us just like any other.
yes. I will ask you something. Like when I also watched these videos, I also got the impression that the current regime basically has to remind its people all the time about how ugly and vile was the former regime for it to continue to rule. Like always compare and say, like, be thankful that we freed you from that former regime. That's the only credit that they have basically to continue ruling the
Yeah,
country.
true. People, their own credit for now is them toppling Assad. There's there's nothing positive they have done so far. They could say we moved the Caesar Act, we done this, we done that. However, in reality, there's no impact of these things on daily Syrian lives. The economy is is going down the drain. The industrial companies, the manufacturers, everyone is just shutting down due to many factors like rising costs, the electricity, the lack of any lack of compatibility. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They can't compete. They can't compete with the Turkish products that flooded the country in the past year. I mean, you go to the stores, you find a Syrian made product. You find a Turkish made product.
Yes.
The Turkish made product is higher in quality and cheaper in price.
Wow.
So what do? You have to buy the Turkish one.
Yes.
So industrialists are now facing this problem of they not being able to compete with the Turkish products. We even have Iranian products now flooding the country. I heard in the north they have Iranian products, basically dates and dates, cheese and all that stuff, flooding the markets there. So
yeah, wait until the Iranian leadership shakes hands with Jolani as well. It's just a matter of time.
I mean, I believe it's already happened behind closed doors. However, they are really taking their time to announce it because it would embarrass them both. However, I can see now the general push of the I'm sorry to say the Shia or Iran-affiliated accounts and media towards reconciling with this regime on the account of it being against Israel in some way or the other.
They started first in a different way. They started saying that Assad was a traitor for the axis of resistance and that he betrayed them at the last year. That's how they started, and now moving gradually toward normalizing Jolani.
Yeah. It's a shame, honestly. It's a shame. I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed myself for supporting this kind of ideology. Honestly, people people thought that we had the idealistic belief in the whole resistance thing. I mean, with the martyrdom of Sayyid Hassan, honestly, it all came crashing down. It was fought by the regime fall in Syria, and now the state we find ourselves in. However, I don't really think it's not out of the ordinary for the Iranians to move towards reconciling with this regime, because I had known for years they preferred an Islamist regime in Syria. Even Khomeini himself was quite a friend of many of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders. He was an admirer of Sayyid Qutb,
Yes.
for example. So for the Iranians, I don't think there's a conflict there for them to reconcile with Jolani, and I know for a fact Turkey is quite is doing what it can to make that move faster.
Yeah. Last question, my friend. Under such circumstances, we have calls for federalism. We have calls for outright separatism. We have Israel presenting itself as an ally of the minorities in Syria. I would like to hear your thoughts on where you stand here.
The problem with any of these calls is its feasibility. For example, you have to consider your own region. What it
Let's see.
to go into one side or the other.
Yeah.
You have to consider. You have to consider your own population also. For example, I'm in my opinion, federalism could quite be beneficial for all parties in Syria. I mean, you can have your own region. You can have your own laws, your own rules.
But you were against federalism before the regime change, right? Like myself. Like this has changed after the change of the circumstances.
Yeah, because as I said, it was a secular socialist country where everyone was treated all the same. We were all equally worthless.
Yeah.
However, we were equals.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, it also fitted all the former regime with its leniency towards religion and general beliefs. I mean, there were taboos, of course, in Syria. Like I remember from when I was young, there was a move against the emo community.
Yeah.
They were treated as Satanists for some reason or for some reason. So it was the regime, the former regime, played by the rules that were set by the majority of this country.
Yeah.
So it was not really logical to call for federalism, because it was everyone used to do whatever they wanted, whatever they wanted. I mean, you could go to Latakia, do whatever you want. You could pray. You could party. You could get drunk. You can do whatever you want. You can go to for example, to the Umayyad Mosque, be a sheikh, go somewhere else, be a monk, etc. You can do everything. Now in Syria, under the current regime, shrines are being desecrated.
Yeah.
Churches are being burned. Sufi and Ash'ari are being oppressed. I mean, I have many Ash'ari friends. They feel oppressed, and their sheikhs are being ousted from their positions as imams. They're being replaced with the Salafists. There's a move towards making the Salafism the main religion in the country. So federalism allows them to do whatever they want in their regions, and allows us to do whatever we want.
But Jolani will not
in
allow
our
that.
regions.
Yesterday he said from the north to the south, from the east to the west, it will be one united Syria under his leadership. I don't know how to reach to federalism under Jolani.
I don't think he can dream. Honestly, he's literally drawing the borders with blood.
Mm.
Uh, the blood of thousands of innocent people that were shed in Sweden, in the coast, in Homs, anywhere in around Syria. Those cannot be forgotten. You can postpone the rise of the people. You can make it. Maybe the Alawites and Druze or others won't rise up against you this year or the next year or the other. Maybe in 10 years they would rise up. So nothing would be forgotten. People will rise up and will demand their freedom.
Yes. What about you, my friend? You are young, you are studying, you're educated. Do you see yourself a future in the country now, or do you prefer to leave?
I would prefer to leave, honestly. I know it's a hard choice now. People, there are people depending on you, your older parents, your friends, your family, general family. However, I believe the only way of helping those people who are depending on me is by going abroad for many reasons: for safety, for freedom, for financial reasons, for satisfaction with myself. I mean, the best I can do in here is basically slaving my life away for dimes,
Yes.
for dimes and nickels. So it would not be satisfactory to remain in this country for the fact I'm highly educated person. I'm an engineer, so I have many options. So I would rather go outside, travel outside, and do what I can do for my family.
If you ask my opinion, my friend, I would encourage you when you finish your studies to leave. You will be of greater use also for your family financially at the beginning, and you could also bring them to you at a later stage. Unfortunately, people ask me, and I say, look, I would give you the same advice I gave to my family in Syria when the regime change happened, and that is if you can leave. I don't think there is
Yeah,
any prospect and future for the people under such circumstances, and especially if you have functioning brain cells, you will feel like alien in your own country. Like I
yeah,
can't imagine myself living in Syria. Meanwhile, these demonstrations are happening and those flags are flying, which represent to me the opposite of what I am, the opposite of my values, the opposite of my upbringing, the opposite of what means Syria to me. So I would feel like
you feel you're
I'm a
under
refugee in my
occupation.
own country, you know,
You feel like you're under occupation.
under
However,
occupation.
the faces of the oppressors are your friends and people you used to call your brothers,
Yes,
and it's heartbreaking, honestly.
yes,
In my opinion, uh, Syria is a lost cause, unfortunately. However, it's also a lost chance. After the fall of the regime, people were genuinely optimistic. They thought, okay, the war is over now. We can be normal people again. We can function like a normal state, like a normal country. However, all of this came crashing down with the massacres in March and then in July with Sueda. And now all we can see ourselves as can only see ourselves as refugees, as you said, or under occupation.
indeed.
There's no hope that the country is going down the drain. Honestly, I can see it collapsing before my eyes. I mean, Jolani himself said today that the Damascenes must tolerate the Lebet people.
Hmm.
Lebet being the
There's
war song of the war song of the Bedouins or the people coming from the tribes,
Hmm.
tribal people. This this could only mean demographic change, even in Damascus itself.
Hmm.
Damascenes prided themselves on being the kind of snobbish, honestly. They thought themselves as a pure line, pure lineage. They have this higher status. They are living, or they come from a city well known around the world. They don't tolerate this kind of behavior. People are being are letting are abusing the city. Honestly, everywhere you go, there's a graffiti. The people of the Aqidat or people of this tribe or the other are littering this. Are everywhere on the walls in Syria and in Damascus. The scenes of these people celebrating everywhere, the general hygiene in Damascus took a huge blow. Honestly, the summer was rough this year. So Jolani is trying to replace to change the demographics in Damascus by moving these people who believe in him, who are his staunchest supporters, into Damascus, thus controlling Damascus even more. We all know that Damascenes don't actually support his regime fully, because they are Ash'ari and Sufi by nature. They enjoy more of an open-minded life. They allow their friends and families into their houses, and their women go outside with friends, and always this cannot be sustained under an Islamist regime. The economy is also taking a hit, because right now, as I mentioned before, the economy is struggling. Industrialists are struggling. Traders are struggling. Everyone is struggling. They have taken a blow to their fortunes. So it's quite a situation they find themselves in.
And things will be more expensive by the day, because we have lost our national economy, and now we are dependent on the regional countries, not only to reconstruct the country, but also to give us the basic supplies and the services like electricity, water, and gas, and etc. So everything will come from outside. Everything will be imported, and everything will be very expensive for the Syrians. And I always argued and said, this is the situation of the World Economic Forum promising the global citizens of you will own nothing and you will be happy in the future. And this is like, you will not own your country and you will be happy. You will not own your economy and you will be happy, and you will go to the streets and celebrate your alleged freedom. So congratulations for the people who thought this is a freedom, and this this is not in any way or shape a glorification of the former regime. Everybody saw what the former regime was capable of doing in different sectors: economically, socially, educationally, foreign policy. There were pros and cons, but I cannot in any way or shape accept and swallow the fact that the current situation is better than the situation, what the situation was in 2011 or in 2010 before the war started. Because after the war, you cannot compare the situation in the country when tens of billions were spent over the country and over 100 nationalities came to fight against us. So of course the situation was horrible, and the mismanagement of the regime was horrible. But I'm saying under the ideal circumstances in 2011, 2010, 2009. I mean, sorry, I lived in Syria. I studied in Syria. I worked in Syria. I met. This was a dream place for anyone who would like to have a slow pace of life, who would like to have cheap prices and live in his own country safely, right? And unfortunately, what is lost now, what has been lost, cannot be restored. That's the one thing that the Syrians have to understand. Syria, as we know it, is gone. The Syrian soul has been crushed, and whatever left is just a scatters of memories. And what we thought Syria could be, unfortunately, we were wrong. I would like to tell you, my friend, God bless you. Allah yahmik. This is the most important thing.
Thank you. God bless you too, Habibi.
And most importantly, finish your education. At any point, if I can support, assist in outside of Syria, I'm at your disposal. I think you should leave. I don't think you should put your services for the next 20, 30 years for you to see your dreams are shattered. Like I saw it in the eyes of my father. After building a business for 30 years, everything has been destroyed. And when I saw the tears of my father after everything he has built for 30 years is gone by some brainless, stupid, no two functioning brain cells in his over his shoulders, basically, those were the people who fought against us. And this is the reality.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle, like, I can see my mother crying, it's okay, but I cannot see my father, who I used to see him as a mountain, crying and crumbling because he lost everything he has built in the country in a matter of seconds by someone who is just yelling like crazy, Allahu Akbar, and he wants to blow up everything. For what? He cannot answer for it, and neither we understood it up until this moment. How is it that we lost everything in Syria just because these people were given guns and weapons with outside forces? So I think it's a cycle has been repeated in the past a few hundred years in this region, and this cannot be fixed. It's so much deeper than we thought, and it's better for us to put our energy, skills somewhere else for people who could appreciate this effort,
Absolutely. People have underestimated the ability of these people to go back to a primitive state. Yes. Honestly, they were nothing more than apes when a switch was flicked. It's horrible.
So sad. Habibi, thank you so much for coming to the show. All these hundreds of people watch us now live. Appreciate you. Most importantly is your safety and security. We hope to have you back again, even if it's on Discord like this, to give us some updates. And we'll see you soon. Okay, brother?
It would be a pleasure. Thank you
very
Habibi,
much. Thank you so much.
Opportunity. Really appreciate it, brother.
Habibi, thank you so much.
Habibi.
Allah Ma'ak.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Master.
My friends, thank you so much for having patience today with this internet situation with our friend from Syria. I had to have him to have this conversation for you also to understand how the people feel when their identity is not revealed, when their security is not under jeopardy. So this is how the people really feel. Those are the people who shared my identity, shared my values, shared my upbringing. We have certain understanding of what life should look like and what our country should look like, despite that we come from different families, different ethnicities, different religion, and different sect. Those were the Syrians, and this is the logic of a Syrian. I wanted you to hear firsthand from another person that is in Syria. It's very sad, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I don't see a future in Syria. If you are a Syrian and you're learning, my advice to you is education in the university and language. English, 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 English. If you want to come to Germany, then German, 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 German. Learn a second and third language. Language opens to you doors that you cannot expect and you cannot imagine, more than the education at some point. Like the other day, I have a friend who lives here in Germany. He studied in Germany. He speaks perfect German. And he married a Moroccan woman. And he went to Morocco for the wedding. And I told him, why don't you look for German companies in Morocco and see if you can work as coordinator, And it worked perfectly. Just because he speaks German, and it's not his expertise to work in that company. He studied something different. What I'm trying to say is education, language is wealth. And myself, had my father not sent me to university, I would have ended up nowadays probably broke, probably unable to survive. It's the education and training your brain to navigate through hardships and think critically is what really matters. And I'm not saying all types of education is the same, not all universities are the same. Be open-minded, be critical when you're studying, learn languages, and if there is an opportunity for you to leave the country and get a good job outside, paid well, do it and support your family inside Syria. This is the only thing. I did the same thing with my friends and family. This is the advice I gave them for the people I care personally. So I'm not going to come and sell any illusions to the people and give a different advice. This is my advice. If you see yourself a future in Syria, stay, definitely. I'm just saying this is my opinion. Tomorrow, guys, is going to be a crazy day. Tomorrow on Tuesday, at 5 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. Eastern American Time, I'm going to host two people. One of them spent most of his time with the American forces in Syria. So he was in the American military. At some point, he was training the people who are now in power in Syria. So he's not only a soldier, he was a trainer. And he reached out to me through a friend, a mutual friend. And tomorrow we're going to have a brilliant conversation with him. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to Syriana Analysis. I'm trying to bring to you quality, let's say, content for the people to understand not only Syria, but also the broader Middle East. So if you like this content, my friends, كيفور كلنا منفكر مثلك بس العائق هو المال للسفر. أنا أتفق معك. I agree with you, my friend. Money is a big issue in this case. Therefore, your search has to be in the Arabic countries, Oman, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait. In these countries, try to find the websites that offer the job opportunities. Have a strong CV, write a strong cover letter, make connections. My teacher at the university in the public relations class, the first thing he taught me is communication skills, course. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Make contacts, network of contacts. What makes this channel successful is the contacts, is the people I know, is the people I meet online and not online. So I know the situation in Syria is harder than my situation because I have a great internet access, etc. But with the functioning internet still in Syria, please, the first thing you do beside your education and language is network of people, contact. Make friendships on social media platforms with people in whichever country you're looking to find a job. And think critically as well. Think outside the box. For example, I mentioned Qatar. Sorry, I don't mention Qatar because I despise it. UAE, Saudi Arabia, for example, Kuwait, etc. Those are in the Arabic countries. But think a little bit outside the box. For example, Latin America, Brazil, Chile, right? These countries, there are also lots of opportunities, and you have a community there, Arabic, Lebanese, Palestinian, who are really good people. So you don't have to focus only on Europe. Europe is already on the verge of its economic development. It's no longer the place where people come and make fortunes. Europe, you cannot make fortunes. Some people say China. China is a great place, my friends. Thailand, Malaysia. Whichever place you choose, make contacts, communicate with people there, search on LinkedIn, search on social media platforms, who is tweeting from there, which companies operate there, what is your expertise, and use some AI tools. The DeepSeek, for example, is free. You can search on DeepSeek the companies that offer the job opportunities that suit your expertise, for example, and then you start making contacts with the people there. That would be my humble opinion. Yes, China is a great place. If you don't like China, it's okay. It's up to you. But China is a great place. It's more advanced and developed than the United States. The infrastructure is great in China. Singapore, yes. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have a special, very special stream with a former American soldier and trainer who trained these people who are now in power. So thank you so much, Johan, as well, for the moderation. Thank you so much, guys, whether you tuned in on YouTube or on Rumble. If you like to support this work, you can become a patron. The link is scrolling on the screen, patreon.com/Syriana analysis. And if you're sitting on your couch and you're watching this on your TV, you can simply turn on your smartphone and scan this QR code on the top left or right of the screen. And you could support this independent work on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Salam.